and welcome to the Seahawkers podcast. I'm Brandon Schultz. It is game day, and this is your Giants pregame from the Podium edition. The Seahawks are welcoming the New York Giants to Lumen Field this afternoon, and let's kick things off with head coach Pete Carroll's preview.
Okay, we got, as we all know, we got the Giants coming to town. The guys are on fire. They've been playing great football. Coach Dable off to a great start and winning tough games, crucial, difficult, challenging finishes, and doing a lot of cool things. And so I know that they're really pumped up, and it's going to be a tremendous challenge. Looks like the NFC East is pretty well stocked, and obviously they're battling for the division lead there too, and so it's a great matchup for us. And as always, we'll benefit from playing a really good team. Hopefully, we'll be able to get them, and it's going to be a tough challenge.
Possibly the biggest challenge on the day will be stopping the Giants' run game and running back Saquon Barkley.
174 yards a game, that's their average, so it's a huge test. And it's a huge test just playing the running back. And then they have style, and they got the quarterback elements and all of that too. So it's as significant as it gets. The most explosive running team in the NFL. They have more explosives than anybody. So we're going to have to keep those things down to a bare minimum. He has everything. He's got power, and he's got speed, and he's got tremendous elusiveness, and his tackle breaking ability is as good as anybody that plays the game. And so he poses as the ultimate threat. A really good catcher, coming out of the backfield. I think he's their leading receiver as well, and so they're using him in every way that they can, and it makes it really difficult. He's got real style. He's got real style about him. He's got great flexibility, and his lateral movement is tremendous, and his burst is great. So this is as hard as it gets.
Here was defensive lineman Quinton Jefferson and his comments on Saquon.
Oh, man, it's going to be a physical one. I think the conditions might be a little rainy this week, and yeah, like you see on tape, man, Saquon is back. He's running great. He's running hard. He jump cutting. He looks explosive, and up front, we have a challenge. We got to be physical. We got to get off blocks and really bottle him up. You see he's finding creases. He's a great back with great vision. You out your gap, he's going to find to expose it. So it's really everybody has to be disciplined across the board, and really can't lack, even if you're on the backside of play, because there's plenty of times you see him, he starts front side, and he'll jump cut all the way backside and cut it all the way back across the field. So, it's important everybody be disciplined, be where you're supposed to be, and be patient, because he's going to try every gap.
Defensive coordinator Clint Hurtt also gave his thoughts on the Giants' run game.
Obviously, you love the challenge because that's what it's going to be all about. Obviously, they got a special running back, and the quarterback is equally a very big threat in the running game. So you understand the challenge. The responsibilities are going to have to take place. The big thing with them is you just got to be consistent. Play after play, down after down, quarter after quarter. That's really what they make you have to do. So, we look forward to it. As coaches and players, we look forward to the opportunity.
Quandre Diggs says the Giants quarterback Daniel Jones will figure to be a part of this running attack too.
You be patient, the plays that you're supposed to make, they'll come to you, and he's been really good by protecting the ball this year, and scrambling when he has space to do his thing. And a lot of people really sleep on his athleticism with running and making big plays off the scrambles, but he's been doing a great job. I think for me is just staying patient as much as I can, and not try to force anything. I mean, as you guys seen, I don't have any interceptions, but I'm not going to go force anything. I mean, those plays are going to come, and when they do, you go take advantage of them. And when the opportunity presents itself on Sunday, then hopefully I'm there to go take advantage of it. But you play your normal game. You don't expect to go out there and jump something that, that's not there, because when you start creating stuff in your mind, that's when bad things happen. I think he just more of, he drops back and, he looks and see where he's going. And, if his reads are not there, then he can scramble and make it effective, where he's not one of those guys that's really trying to slide. He's trying to get extra yards. I think, for sure, he's somebody that since he's been in the league, he's got a lot of rushing yards. He's seen him run away from defenses and things like that. So that makes him unique. But I think, we just contain the pocket as much as we can. And, he's he's similar in size to Herbert, but just try to keep him in the pocket, keep him bottled up. And, he has his own read plays, and we got to be technique sound on those too. But, I think it'll be a good day, and I think it'll be fun to go against a challenge like that.
Another challenge posed by the Giants from what we've seen so far this season is their ability to mount comebacks, and Pete Carroll has taken note.
What we know is they're going to have the belief, they're going to have the mindset that they know they can finish a game and win it, and that gets stronger and feeds off of itself, and that's a really tremendous asset to have when you know that you're going to finish well, and those games are to be had, So, there is no time when this is over. You got to go. It's 60 minutes plus, and so we have to be geared for it.
Flipping over to explore the defensive side of the ball for New York, here's what stands out to offensive coordinator Shane Waldron about this Giants defense.
Coach Martindale does an extremely great job of pressuring a lot of different packages, personnel groups that are, shifting week to week, looks that are shifting week to week. And, they're able to generate a lot of pressure. They're excellent on third down. They're excellent in the red zone. And a lot of that stems from these exotic pressures, these looks that they're able to get to and generate pressure on the quarterback and get the ball out when, a little bit earlier than you want to, or leads to some sacks or some potential pressures and turnovers.
Continuing on the topic of defense, but for our own home team, the Seahawks had cornerback Trey Brown return to practice this week. Here are comments on his return from Carroll and Hurtt.
I've watched him work out in his rehab work, and he's been flying around. He's ready to go, and he's been chomping at it for a couple weeks now. But they really wanted to make sure. We haven't seen him on the field yet. He was in walkthrough today. I'm so excited to see him back out here. Remember, when he left, he was playing darn good football. He had just started to make his impression about how he was really consistent. He was tough. He was competitive on the ball. He was really consistent was the part that I liked about him for a young guy. And he kept showing it in practice, very much like Michael Jackson has done. And Mike just practiced beautifully, played great in preseason, just kept stepping, at doing things right. Well, that's what Trey was doing too. And then he got hurt, just suddenly. And so I'm just, in my mind, I'm picking up where we left off and away we go and let him start battling and see where he fits in with the competition. He'll make us better for sure. And I just hope he can stay healthy and stay out there, and it works out for him.
Now, it's first day in practice. Obviously, he's having fun and having a good time while he was out here. It's just good to see him out here on the grass. I want to see him continue to work his way back in. I mean, the guy hasn't played football in almost a year, since his injury. So I think there's no doubt we're excited about his talent, his ability. We know that he's competitive, he's tough. But I want to see him run around a little bit more and kind of get involved in things and get his feet wet because he's got rust that he's got to knock off naturally. He's still a young guy that's developing, So today was his first day out there. He moved around with it really well.
Before we get into the injury news, let's do a quick whip around of some of the other player pressers from this week, including Uncle Will Dissly, who spoke about celebrating National Tight Ends Day.
It was a good holiday. Hawks won. We got a free T-shirt. Colby wore it. I'm still waiting on mine from George, but Colby had one. That's cool.
Is that going to be a day off someday, do you think?
Absolutely not. I don't think we celebrate holidays after 4th of July, really, in this business. So, it's just a fun day. It's cool. A lot of guys get celebrated. So, I'm happy. We got a good group. Everyone got a little bit of the action. So, it was a fun day for us.
Geno Smith, meanwhile, continuing on his revenge tour this season, spoke extensively about playing with the Giants earlier in his career.
It was short-lived. I was only there for really a year, so it wasn't really much time. But, what I can say is, I enjoyed my time there. Had an opportunity to learn and grow. Was able to be under Coach McAdoo and Mr. Jerry Reese, who, I owe a lot to. And then, obviously, being able to be with in the same room with Eli Manning and learning from him and learning with him and competing with him was awesome, just to be a part of that for a year.
What do you remember about the start you made for the Giants in 2018 and all the circumstances around that?
Was against Oakland. Was against the Raiders. Familiar face. Bruce Irvin was on the opposite side. Khalil Mack was also out there as well. And, it was just a chance for me to go out there and show what I got. It was one game. Obviously, there was a lot of, speculation and stuff surrounding that game. But for me, it was just, like I've always been, just focused on the game. I didn't really get caught up in anything else.
Going back to safety Quandre Diggs, he talked about the effects that artificial turf is having on player injuries.
I think for me now, the older I get, the more I hate the turf. when I was young, it was just like, it is what it is. You know, I grew up playing on turf in high school and stuff like that. So I didn't really, but I mean, just the kind of the effects that you can feel on the joints and things after, you know, the grass is so much better. But when you see all these injuries on turf, you know, it definitely sucks. You know, all the injuries that we had, Chargers and Seahawks on Sunday, you know, I just feel like that turf, you know, I'm not a big fan of the Rams/Chargers field turf. I think it's slick. I'm not a big fan of it, but, you know, you see all these injuries, you know, I think it was Giants and Jet Stadium a few years ago where, you know, all those teams, the 49ers went out there, they had guys with ACLs and all type of stuff. So you see that and you just kind of wonder, like, you know, why can't we have, you know, natural grass everywhere? You know, I love playing in like San Francisco and things like that where, you know, it's grass and you just go out there and you just go play. So, you know, hopefully we doing some research on it and seeing what we can do to make things better. And I know it's hard to upkeep grass, but at the end of the day, you know, we got to do what's best for this billion-dollar industry. And I think the players are a big part of that. So, you know, maybe we need to take some ideas from the players.
Coach Pete agreed with Diggs.
I think we definitely need to look at this really seriously in the offseason again. I mean, it's been a discussion before. We got to do what's right, and we got to do what's safest for the players, and we got to make those choices. And I would pound on the drum for that. And I know that there's numbers and there's studies. You got to figure out where the study comes from and who's paying for it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here that we got to figure out. We got to do the right thing, but we definitely need to keep looking at it because every now and then it just feels like something's up, and too many guys going down when they're not even touching anybody, you know. So anyway, we'll see. And then the turfs are way better than they used to be and all that kind of stuff, but we just got to see. I know I'm getting in trouble here, so shut up.
We did get note late on Saturday that DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are both expected to play, but we heard from Pete on Friday giving an update on their injury situation.
DK did some stuff today. Tyler was quiet today. We held him back a little bit, and so that's it. I got nothing else for you. I'll wait till tomorrow.
Here's Tyler speaking about playing through his injury.
I mean, it was an issue for me last week. I think the hardest part is just going into a game and not really getting catches, not really getting routes, not really working on some of the stuff that you want to work on as you get ready to get prepared for a game. But it's one of those things where you kind of got to just rely on your talents and your gifts, understanding that you played the game for so long that you already know what it is that you need to do. And it's, you know, you just got to trust yourself and know that those other weeks of preparation that you've had just to be able to go out there and play, you kind of got to rely on that a little bit as you go play.
Carroll says he has a better sense of DK's injury now that the week of practice is over.
Yeah, I do, because he ran around today and did some stuff and looked pretty good. So I wouldn't have, just based on kind of the initial reaction to what happened and all that, we wouldn't have thought that possible. But, you know, he was out there doing some stuff, so it's good. Good positive step today.
Special teams captain Nick Bellore, unfortunately, will be out on Sunday.
He's definitely making progress. There's no doubt. He feels much better than he has a couple days ago. So I would be really surprised if he isn't feeling great over the weekend. And we just need to wait on him, though. We got to make sure we do the right thing.
And taking a quick look at the injury reports, Bellore is the only Seahawks player who is out, while wide receiver Penny Hart is doubtful. Lockett, Metcalf, Taylor, Puna, Gabe Jackson, Phil Haynes, and Sidney Jones are all questionable, with Haynes and Jones being the only two who had full participation at the end of the week. So I think we can expect Haynes and Jones fully available to be playing. The Giants have 6 players out in this game, including tight end Daniel Bellinger, who suffered a gruesome eye injury last week against the Jaguars, wide receiver Kenny Golladay, starting right tackle Evan Neal, linebacker O'Shane Zimenez, offensive lineman Ben Bredesen, and defensive back Cordale Flott will all be joining Bellinger on the bench. Defensive lineman Leonard Williams, defensive back Jason Pinnock, and offensive lineman Tyree Phillips are all questionable and did see limited participation at the end of the week. And that's going to do it for this show. Thanks to Wilson Kahn for helping to produce this episode. Follow him out on Twitter at Wilson_Kahn, CONN. Follow me out on Twitter at SeahawkersPod. Follow along in the Game Day Discord channel, We're going to be chatting there throughout the day. If you are not a member of the flock, you could head on over to getintheflock.com or on YouTube. You can join there. Either way, that should get you an invite to the Discord. If you have joined the flock and you need another invite link for one reason or another, go Hawks at Seahawkerspodcast.com via email. I'll try and get to you here before the game if you reach out to me early enough. And of course, be sure you are subscribed there on YouTube, because that's where we're going to be going live after the game to recap this game between the Seahawks and New York Giants. Looking forward to seeing everybody there. And so until then, go Hawks.